Hello, racing fans, and welcome to another Get Hot, Stay Hot podcast hosted by yours truly, Peter Rotundo Sr., and my partner in crime, Lee Davis. Well, I have to say one thing. This is the best time of the year for Team Rotundo. And you ask why?
Very simple.
Very simple.
Simple answer.
Simple answer. Saratoga Racecourse opened up Thursday, July 16th. Monmouth Park opened up last week. And today, they'll have the $1 million Haskell Invitational for 3-year-olds at a mile and an eighth. And supposed to be this today at Del Mar, the winner of the $20 million Dubai race, Maximum Security, the horse that won the Derby or crossed the finish line in first last Derby, was disqualified. He was supposed to run today in the San Diego Handicap, but because of this crazy pandemic, they canceled racing for Del Mar until next Friday, barring anything unforeseen.
Right.
So
Took a little time off.
yeah, so I was looking forward to that race to see how he comes back with a new trainer, Bob Baffert,
Right.
as Jason Service has been
Right.
suspended and indicted and
Whatever.
whatever.
Right. Yeah. But I just want to get this podcast going because after this I could get my car and start driving to Haskell because I'm going to the Haskell even though you got to go to work, do your Louisiana Down stuff. I'm going to go. First time I'm going to the Haskell without you, without Boy, without anybody. Actually, I'm just taking the girls from friends of mine from Spring Lake, a few girls, and my man from Philly, Pasquale, he's going to come. And we should have a good time, even though you guys aren't going to be there.
How is Pasquale going to interact with women under 70 years old?
I know.
Because he's used to 70-year-olds and
Right.
higher,
I'm sure he'll adapt.
He'll adapt.
He'll be all right.
But, a little later in the show, we'll go over the two big races in Saratoga, which are the Hall of Fame, Grade 2, at a mile and an eighth on the inner turf, and also a very famous race, the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks, and it's going to be run at a mile and an eighth. I remember years ago, that used to be the third leg of the Triple Tiara,
Right.
and used to be contested at a mile and a half, but then they changed it to a mile and a quarter,
Right.
and now currently it's a mile and an eighth.
Right, it's not as big as it used to be.
Right,
years
and
ago.
it used to be run at Belmont because of the pandemic and everything. It's being run at Saratoga.
It's like the Peter Pan.
And last but not least, we'll touch upon the big one, the $1 million Haskell, which you will be there. And I'm a bit jealous. I mean, I'm happy doing the gig I'm doing at Louisiana Downs, but
Right.
I still rather.
Right, I agree with you. I wouldn't trade places with you.
Right.
I mean, I know it's nice to have a job and whatever.
Right.
But to me, these certain days, like you always say, how many do we have left? I want to do as many as I can until I can't do them anymore.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It was much easier for me to handicap the Haskell than it was for some of these $5,000 claimers today at Louisiana Downs.
Right.
They were real brain
I was going to
teasers.
say, you got to look at the form when you look at these Saratoga races or these big graded stakes races. Coming off of $5,000 maiden horses maiden claim is at Louisiana. The horses got to just jump off the page.
No, it really has. I mean, opening day, Thursday, I came up with
big winner.
a 19-1 shot,
Yeah.
the 2-year-old in the Schuylerville. And I
Yeah.
always had trouble with the Schuylerville. All during the years, I very rarely picked a winner at a Schuylerville.
Well, that's
I was
because they're fillies, and you just
Phillies,
fillies at any
right, whether they're equine or human, I've
Yeah,
always
well,
had a
problem
little.
with Phillies.
I just don't
You
understand.
did good in
them.
the Sanford, but you never did good in the.
Right, I just don't understand them as well as I do guys for some reason.
But
I
maybe
guess-
late in life you're figuring it out. You're coming up with a 19-1 filly.
yeah,
that's
and
nice.
She won like a 3-5 shot too.
Yeah, she won easy.
Anyway. But before we get into the handicapping, we did do some good Samaritan work.
Yes, we did.
Last week.
Yes, we did.
Tell them what actually happened. You were
Yes.
driving your car.
Well, we're coming down. I'm dropping you off from wherever we were. I don't remember where we
We were at your.
we were in the backyard of my sister-in-law's house at the pool or whatever. And I'm driving you home. And as we're going down, I see this older lady. She had to be maybe in her 80s, I would say.
Well,
real
close to it.
She was an older woman, and she was stumbling like she was losing her balance, and
Well,
I said,
there's an incline
looked like she's
in
gonna
my
fall
in my condominium area.
Right, she's going
down the
downhill,
block.
yeah.
She's going downhill. Now,
Right.
to give you a little background story on it, unfortunately, her husband passed away about 6 months ago. Who was a good friend of mine. His name was Vic.
I met him, yeah.
And
But I
even
never
though-
met this woman. I didn't know who
Right.
she was
well,
when I.
Vic was a big Yankee fan, and he loved playing the horses.
Yes.
And but he passed away from dementia, and his
And
wife
she
also
has
had it.
dementia,
Has
too.
it
Yeah.
also. So I hadn't seen her for a while, and she usually has a lady with her from. You know,
like a nurse
during the
helping her
day.
out, right?
But,
Yeah.
But at 5 o'clock,
But
the nurse goes home.
was home, yeah. So she left. So as she's walking coming down the block, I see her, and I see that she's not coherent a little. You know, she looks like there's a problem. And
Right.
you said this is Vic's wife,
Right.
You
And
know,
she was
God knows where
stumbling
she's
badly.
going. Yeah, she
You
was
know.
stumbling, and I thought she was going to fall. She hit her head on the mirror of a car to
Right.
like slow her down. She was like banging into the car, and
But I ran out of the car because I do have alacrity. Yet even at my 71 years of age, I used to run with the best of them. I am a sprinter.
Right. No, you did jump right out and
Right.
go to help her, and I came to help her too.
Right.
And then when we got her and you started walking her down.
Right. Well, the thing is, I says I knew they lived across the street, but I
Right.
didn't know exactly
Her-
the
her-
address.
right,
She's-
exactly.
But she was coherent in that respect. She said
She knew her address.
88.
Right. I remember
Right.
saying that.
So she had the keys out, and
Right.
I was trying. And again, I would never make a good criminal to try to break into a house.
You
I
had the keys and you couldn't get
I
into
had
the
the
house.
keys, and I
Right.
still couldn't get in the house.
So I hear you calling my
Lee,
name.
help me.
Lee, help me. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? You got the woman on one arm. I see you staring at her bag of donuts
Yeah,
that she
well,
had.
that was the
but she was
thing.
walking with the donuts. And I noticed that I don't want to say it, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. I noticed that you were, with all the things that were going on, you were concerned about what kind of donuts she had in
And where
the
did she
bag.
buy them? Because the bag looked pretty attractive.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right,
And,
yeah.
and I just a glimpse saw donuts, and I was wondering, and I didn't think it was
The presence of mind when
Right.
a woman we're worried about saving a life, who
Right.
knows what's going to happen. The presence of mind to look in the bag to see what kind, because you're so into donuts,
Right.
to see what kind of donuts, where she got. And like, I know you wanted to ask her questions, but the woman was
No,
basically,
right,
you know,
exactly.
she
I don't
didn't know
know.
where she was.
But where did she? I mean, there's no.
Right, where'd she come from? She
there's
had to walk miles to
Right,
get
there's
those
no
donuts.
bakeries.
Right, you wanted to
close
know
to
where
the
she got the
condominium
donuts,
area there. So I don't know how she did it.
But at the end of the day, we did the right thing. We
Right.
got her. I opened the door, which wasn't easy to open.
Right.
You know, we got her in, and that was it. And like I say, you help people, God will help you. I believe
Right,
that.
right.
So you know, we did the right thing, and
you know,
thank God. Then that started
Right.
it off right there.
Yeah, and,
Well, actually, ended our week. It was what was that Sunday? Must
Yeah,
have been
it
Sunday.
was last weekend.
Yeah.
But you know, and then you know, I did my normal stuff this week. Oh, I did Louisiana Downs. I handicapped those races Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I had a good day on Tuesday. I came up with a 28 to 1
Yeah,
shot on
you've
top.
been doing pretty
and
good
I've
over
been
there.
getting better.
Right.
But believe me, I had trouble the first few weeks in trying to get accustomed to the horses and the patterns and
Right, and the
jockeys
jockeys and
whatever.
trainers.
But
There's
I'm
everybody's
feeling
playing angles
more
and
comfortable.
stuff.
But again, each race is an enigma. It's a puzzle.
Very
And-
difficult.
and
I looked at them. I
right?
don't have the patience to do those. I give you
Yeah.
credit. You know, whatever they're paying you, they should pay you double the amount of money to look at those races. They got to hurt. You got to take Tylenols after you do it.
Well, I take Excedrins.
All right, whatever. You know what
for
I mean.
migraines. You know, after
You got to have some
after-
migraine after handicap one
Right.
of those cards.
No, really, I haven't had
7
headaches in
races.
years, but I'm starting to get a few headaches now because it's really challenging. But I'll tell you one thing. They're exciting races. They really are. I mean, you could get a 1-9 shot on one race and come up, and a 30 to 1 shot can win the next race.
Yes,
So
I've been watching.
right.
So I noticed you're doing great, and I love the way you analyze the race. And I'll tell you, nobody breaks a race down better than you do, and nobody could pick speed who's going to go to the lead better than you. And that's where I learned a lot of my handicapping from.
Right.
But watching, and I watch every day. I may not bet every race,
Right.
but I watch. You're giving the people value.
Right.
You're giving them good stuff to bet where they can make money instead of just 1 to 5, 2 to 5, 3 to 5. I mean,
Right.
anybody.
Your
can
your
pick
friend
those.
Rocky called.
Oh, yeah.
called
My
you
friend
out.
Rocky texts me, and he goes, I'm skimming through the thing looking for, he's a degenerate horse player. He wants to gamble. And now what's on Louisiana Downs? He goes on Twin Spires. He puts on the thing. And who does he see? Peter. He texts me, and he goes, I saw your friend Peter. This, that, the other. He goes, I'm following him. And as soon as he said that, the next race, he had a 90, I think it was a
$92
$95, $92 exact.
Yeah, yeah.
So right away, now he's hooked. You got him for the rest of your life, for the rest of the time you're going to be on. So,
Well, it's been fun. But today I went, my Corona barber like I usually do.
Right,
On
right.
Friday she works at
the
Art and
dining,
Avenue.
yeah,
But I
whatever.
was thinking, about tipping this
Right.
week, and
is there proper protocol? What's the
right,
what's
we
the
know her,
rules?
so we got to take care of her.
Right, right.
I mean, we go far beyond the Call of Duty.
We always do. That's
Right.
what we do. With people
Well-
are nice to us, we're doubly nice to
Well,
them.
there was a time when I told you I had the problem with getting the eggs and the toast
Yes.
at the same time. So I was so turned off at one period of time that all I did was I went to a different diner every day now, and I would go and sit down in a booth which could hold 6 people.
Right.
So a woman would come over to me, waitress. She says, "Good morning," whatever, and I says, "What would you like?" "Just a cup of coffee and an English muffin." And she looked at me like, "That's it?" Because she's thinking now.
In her
What
mind.
kind of
Well,
a
you're
tip-
thinking she's
No,
thinking.
she's got to be thinking.
Right. I would think that.
I mean,
so I'm saying
her
you're probably
job,
right.
She works on tips.
Right.
She's got to be thinking, how much tip could I get from this guy?
Right.
It's a booth that holds 6 people. I only have 3 or 4 booths. Each girl gets 3 or 4.
Right.
And I'm unlucky enough to get this guy.
Right, right.
He seems to be a nice guy.
Right.
But what am I going to make?
No
So-
question, I agree that she's definitely thinking this guy's taking a booth that I could fit 4, 5, 6 people in, and he's going to sit there. And not only going to sit there, but he's only going to order coffee and toast.
Right.
And God knows how long you're going to sit there. So you're right. She probably was annoyed.
I am fairly sharp.
Right.
So I'm thinking this. I know this, but now what I do is, after she puts the bill down, I wait till she walks away. I leave a $10 tip because I know in her mind, probably she's thinking of all the people that gotta
Right.
come in. This guy
He's
is
gonna give me
ordering
$1.
$1
Right.
tip when I could be
Waste
making
my table.
right.
I could have 4 or 5 people,
Right.
6 people
So
sitting
now,
in. Right.
I don't know if anybody out there that's listening to the podcast ever saw the series. This is going back in the 1950s, The Lone Ranger, starring Clayton Moore.
Right.
But after almost every episode, towards the end, the Lone Ranger did a good deed.
Right.
And then they were, the
wanted
people
to-
that he was
they
helping
wanted to thank him.
wanted to thank him. And then all of a sudden,
He
you
would be
don't
gone,
see him,
right.
and you see him up on the hills with his
Ohio
horse.
Silver.
Silver.
Right.
Hi-ho, Silver, away.
Right,
And he
right,
went
right.
off into the sunset. And the
They
the
never
man,
got a chance at that.
And the man or woman would say, "Where did that masked man go?" And that's who I felt like I was.
Right,
The
so you were doing
Lone
that.
Ranger at the diner, because she had to think that I'm a cheap, or a guy that
Right,
doesn't have
everything she
much.
thought about you,
Right.
she was wrong, and now she wants to not apologize because she doesn't know you're thinking. You don't know she's thinking that, but she wants to, like, I don't know, kiss your ass, so to speak, and say thank you so much, but whatever she wanted to, and you didn't give it a chance.
I didn't give it the
Right, you
opportunity.
didn't give it the
I
opportunity.
didn't give it the
You would
opportunity.
disappear, whatever,
Because
and then
I
never
felt
see
like
her again.
You should never judge a book by its cover.
Right, exactly.
So my point is, thinking that I'm a $1 tipper here,
Right.
and I'm getting beat on this booth,
Right.
that I could have 6 people, 4 people,
Right.
I can make a good day.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. I would feel the same way. I know what I'm doing. So I know I'm sitting at a table where she could have 4 people. I'm not at the counter where there's one person there. And then you could have coffee and toast, no big deal. You give $1.50, $2 tip, whatever it is. The bill's $5. And that's the end. You're at a booth, so you already know that she could probably be making X amount of dollars in your head. You're thinking how much you would make if there was 4 people. This was the bill. If they have a breakfast, it'd come out to $40.
Right.
20%, $8.
And you know what?
Bang, give it 10.
I always think, a lot of these ladies, that they're single moms, they're divorcees, whatever, and you got to feel bad because they're struggling. They try
Right,
to
to make a buck.
make a buck.
Right, and they don't
You
get
gotta
paid
do
a
the right thing.
salary. They just make living on tips.
Right.
They get a very, very little
Right.
salary.
And I don't know if everybody is cognizant of that when they go into a diner.
No, I don't think
these
so. I think
things.
we're different than everybody.
Right.
I don't think people even think it. They have other things where we're always worried about the other person, which is a good way to be, I believe, because I would hope somebody's worried about me. Like, I don't hope somebody would think
Right.
that way about
I
me.
always say, put yourself in somebody else's place.
Yes.
And that's what I try to do.
Right.
Look, I'm not perfect. God knows I'm not perfect.
Oh, God knows that. I know that.
I'm close to perfection. But anyway, I know I'm not, but I always try to do the right thing.
Exactly.
You know
and,
what I mean?
I learned that from you too. I was always that way, but you were over the top with it, and it took it to another level. And I started doing that myself. But a lot of the places we go into now, like we went into Royal Crown to get bread, or we go into Dunkin' Donuts, they have a tip jar on the desk. Now I know the girls are working for very small money, so I always kind of throw some change in there, whatever my balance is, or if I charge it, I'll leave a couple of dollars and I throw it in the jar. But I put it in the jar, and you brought it up to my mom the other day. You said to me, don't you want the girl to see that you're putting the money in the jar?
I do the opposite when a person is serving me, when I'm picking up some food where the jar is on the top, or it's a butcher or something like that. I don't want and again, they're trying to make tips because they're not making big money. They're probably making minimum wage.
Right.
But I don't want them to really. I'm like the opposite. I want them to see me.
You don't want them to walk away. If you didn't see you put it in their mind, they're gonna say, "That a cheap bastard." He just.
I don't mind.
You don't know who put it in. There's a whole bunch of money in there. You don't know whose money's in there.
Right.
So you want her to actually see you put it in, so she doesn't think of you as a cheap person, because you might come in the next day, next day, and you just want her to be aware of. I do leave a tip. Where I don't even care. I know I did it in my own mind. I know I did the right thing. I'm not worried about, and I never did. Well, for a long time I did, but after I got divorced, I stopped worrying about what people thought of me. I am what I am. I know I'm a good human being, so I just do what I got to do, and I always leave money in things, but I don't wait for them to. Actually, I think I do it on purpose when they're not looking. I put it in because I don't even want them to say, "Oh, thank you so much." I just put it in and I go whatever, and I go to a lot of places, those type of places.
But did you ever do? You wanted to get changed, like put a $5 bill.
No. I'd be afraid that they think I'm trying to rob.
That happened on a Seinfeld episode. Remember that? With George?
Right. I wouldn't touch. I would ask the girl, "Can you give me change?" Let her take it out, but I don't want to even. I don't go near. A lot of times I put it on the top. I don't even stuff it in because I don't want it to see if anybody see my hand in the jar. So I just leave it on the top and let them stuff it in. I don't even care.
As we're spending about 10 minutes on this, talking about. Do you think people have this pressure on them when they go in to buy food?
No, your average person does not worry about what we worry about.
But is there something wrong with us?
Yes, there's definitely something wrong with us, but in a good way. There's something wrong with us, but in a good way. Because I got news for you. If a lot of people, or most of the world, treated people the way we treat people, the world would be a better place to live in. And I totally agree. And I'm not saying that
because you got some people who'll say that's their job. They're performing a service and they're getting paid. So why are you making?
Some people don't even give a tip. Now in my mind, I give the guy. Listen to me. I tip all over the place, and I know a lot of people don't do this, but I know some people. I was brought up this way. When I get gas, and whatever the bill is, I give the guy an extra $1. He's pumping gas. No matter what, he's not making a lot of money. So if my gas is $20, I give him $21. My gas is $18, I give him $19. I always give him $1.
Wait a minute, which is very nice. But, I'd say other than New Jersey, because it's a law that they have to.
No, if somebody pumps it for me.
Right, but my point is, in Staten Island, there are many more self-service places.
And then I don't have to do it because I'm doing it myself.
Do you normally go so you can give the guy a tip?
No. If I just happen to be at a place where they do self-service.
You don't search out for a place.
No. I don't go. I'm not that crazy. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not driving out like at the lottery. I'm driving every gas station looking for attendants to give them money. You know what I mean? There's
other.
Yeah, no. I'm very generous. I'm not that.
Late in life, I like to do my own gas.
You feel macho, right?
I feel a little like Clint Eastwood. I feel a little macho. Right. Get a little oil on my hands, gasoline, the smell of the gasoline.
Right, I like the smell of the gasoline.
And even putting air in the tire. I really feel macho with that. I got all the grease from the tire. I don't do it that well because everybody's saying, "Well, how much air you got to put 26?"
Well, you need a certain amount of pounds of air to put.
I don't know that. I just think it's all handicap. It's handicapping skill even in putting air on a tire because I have no clue
what
if I'm putting too much.
I have very basic, automotive skills, but I can do. Yeah, I could do a few things. Maybe I could, if I had to, I could change a tire. I did when I was younger. I don't know about now that cars are different, but I could do those things. But again, it's going back to tipping. If somebody's doing me service, I give them a tip. I don't care that it's their job. There's guys that come into my house, they do the only thing is if it's their own business. Like when I get a haircut, The guy that gives me a haircut, buzzes my head or whatever.
Right.
If he owns the shop, like say Joda, with the place
Right.
we go to, and he happens to do my hair because Norma's not there,
Right.
and he does, I give him, but not as much as I give Norma as a worker.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't totally not give him money. I know he owns the place,
Right.
but he's still doing me a service. But maybe I'll give him $5. Where Norma, I give her 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? She does my hair, whatever it is. I still give her a $10 tip.
Norma's cute, number one.
Well, yeah, but but that's not the reason.
and
I
Joe-
do have the presence of mind to realize Joe owns a joint. He's making a fortune. There's people lined up outside the door. People, and he gets all that money.
Right.
So when he cuts my hair, I give him $5. But when Norma or another person that doesn't own the place, so I'm aware of when it's to give out tips. I was always a good
You know what?
tipper.
It reminds me now you're talking about Joe the barber. When God rest my father's soul, he used to play cards on Friday nights, right?
Right.
And there was a bunch of guys, different jobs they had.
Right.
Two of them were barbers.
Right.
Two Joe the barbers.
Okay.
And both of them, for some reason, again, I didn't know Parkinson's existed. I'm like 15, 16 years old. I used to
Right.
go on Friday nights. I used to get them sandwiches. They used to give me a tip.
You love to
whatever.
be just see
or
the
they
action.
send me down the block to the bookmaker, but my father would never
Bet the
let me
number.
write. Or,
Right.
write the
It was
the
smart
horses
'cause you
down
get arrested,
because
you go to
No,
jail.
I had a good memory.
You get in trouble.
So I would bet the trotters for them, whatever, and they give me a
Right.
tip, whatever. But I remember that they would shake a lot, and I don't know if they were nervous when they were playing. So I went to their barber shop, and I saw the guy shaving a guy, and his hand is
got-
like
oh, no, you don't wanna go to a
shaking.
barber
No,
like that.
but how do you?
Are you kidding?
How
You
do
gotta-
shave him
yeah,
up with,
you gotta
with
be-
a touch of Parkinson's?
Right. That's not a good profession for somebody who has a touch of
I
Parkinson's.
understand,
Right.
but the place was always jammed, and a lot of people would go there, and I would say to myself,
You know what? He probably figured out a way to do it when he's actually doing the shaving part.
Right.
It stays still, but then when he gets up to wash it off, the hand starts shaving. He gets it like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever.
But I'm telling you, the things that I
Right.
think of
When you were
and
younger.
you remember
Those,
from
right.
when you were a
But
kid.
those are the things
that
around you
stay-
make you who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? As you're growing up, and as I was growing up, my father was always a good tipper, and he used to tell me, you give the and then and I noticed because I became a good tipper, the places that I frequent, I get not special service,
Right.
but I don't have to wait for a table. They give me maybe throw me a dessert or a coffee on the arm every once in a while. So I noticed there's some perks that come along with giving out good tips.
My best friend Tony, who passed away actually, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, what was it, 1990, so it's 30 years ago. You never got to meet him because I met
No.
you in 91.
Yeah,
You would have
he-
loved
he-
him.
he
Well,
passed away.
he would go, and he taught me about tipping and stuff like that. He'd go to a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, give the waiter $20, says go in the back and tell the guy, I want baked clams, I want the smallest, tell him to go deep sea fishing. I want the smallest, and give him $20.
Just
and we're
to get-
talking about
pick out, right.
40 years ago,
Right.
giving the guy who's
Right.
in the back,
Right.
the chef,
Right.
as it were, $20 to get the smallest
Right.
clam.
He
you
wanted
can-
what he wanted,
Right.
and he took care
And
of
he
it.
took care
He
of
didn't just tell somebody, "I want this, I want that, I
Right.
want this," and he didn't give anybody any money. He did. He wanted what he wanted, and he took care of the people. And you could appreciate that. People appreciate
no,
that.
when they came in, you
Yeah,
think,
the
you
room
think
lit up.
Jesus
Of course.
himself was coming into
Right,
the
the
room.
room lit up
Right.
because they know they're making money, and
Right.
and when you have money, it's nice to share it with other people
Right,
too. You know what I mean?
exactly,
That's
exactly.
another totally different.
That's another topic.
Another
for-
podcast we could talk about that.
Another time.
Right, I don't want to
But
get started.
let's talk about what we're supposed to really. This podcast is supposed to be.
Right, we're
get
supposed
out,
to talk
stay
about-
out.
right,
It's
horse
about
race, right, it's
horses.
supposed to be about
so,
horses, but we
why
get
don't we
crazy.
take? What's your opinion of the race 3 today at Saratoga? It's the Grade 2 Hall of Fame, a mile and an eighth on the inner turf course. Who did you make in that race? Like?
You know what? I found the race simple. I looked, a couple of times,
Right.
and then I said to myself, you know what? Why are you trying to overlook this race? There's no speed in the race. Except one horse,
Right.
the 3. Get smoking. Tommy Bush,
Right.
Jose Ortiz, who's great on a speed horse on the front end. I mean, he's a great jockey all around, but I love him when he's on a speed horse. And he's he's legitimately going to be, he can nurse this horse around the track, and he's 10-1 more than line. I can't believe that he'll go off more than 5-1. You know what I mean? Once
I
people
don't think
start
he's run
looking.
over a mile and a 16th.
Nobody's bred. I mean,
But my point is this, and I agree with you 100%, because he could go to the half in 48 and change, and it becomes a sprint after that.
right.
Right?
Right, no question about it. He doesn't have to. He could totally, like you said, he could totally relax for the first eighth of a mile, and then it's a mile. He just goes,
right.
and now who's going to catch him?
And it becomes a 6 furlong sprint after
Right.
that. After that first half that he runs,
Right.
and that's my point. And if he can nurse him, and Jose Ortiz, you're right.
Right.
When
On
he's
a-
on the
on a
front
lead,
end, he could rate a horse as good as anybody.
right.
So I agree, and hopefully we'll get a price close to that. Maybe we'll get 7-8 to 1.
Oh, I would love. Well, they're going to definitely bet the 5. Gufo, is it Gufo? Is that how you pronounce it? Gufo? Clement's horse.
Right.
They're gonna bet that horse with Coney's 5-2 in the morning line, and then the one domestic spending from the Great Britain is a Chad Brown. Everybody's always betting Chad Brown.
Chad Brown's on fire already.
And Irad's on him. So
Yeah.
and everybody's betting Irad. Right. So we, looking at that, we're gonna probably get a
That's
decent
our
price.
value pick. I agree with you.
You know.
Okay, so let's move on to the Grade 1 Coaching Club. That's race 10 today. It's at 1.125 miles on the main track. And who'd you come up with?
Okay, and that's the race with Tonal Shape. The
Yes.
yeah, the fillies.
How many races did
I'll
she
tell you
win
what,
at
she
the
looks
Gulfstream?
amazing. She won. She's 6 out of 7 lifetime. She's 3 for 3 in 2019, and she was 3 for 4 in 2020. But again, it's all Gulfstream, and now she's coming to Saratoga. And Safi Joseph, who's a young trainer, hot shot type trainer. He's got big gaudy numbers with horses. From the rail, she's tough. But I'm looking to try to get value like I always do. I came up with, and I'm going to pick, it's funny, I'm going to get value betting Chad Brown, but I'm going to pick the 3. Alfta, A-L-F-A-L-T-A-F.
ALTFA, Alpha?
Alfalfa.
Okay.
Whatever. Chad Brown, Rosario. And
Dario's been on fire.
And there's enough speed in the race where they'll be closing.
Right.
And this horse is a notch below, but they're young. They're still, there's 3-year-olds, so they're always getting better. And Rosario coming on the outside, that's where I want to see him. I don't ever want to see him inside. I get nervous.
We still have, I still have nightmares about Governor Balabu in the Belmont Stakes years ago when he checked him about 3-4 times on the inside. He was 20-1,
Right.
and I said, we got a ton of horse coming into the lane, and he said, yeah, I know. And then all of a sudden, check.
Right.
And he finished 4th, I believe.
So I made in the race. I made 3-2-1. Annette. Antoinette second, right. And Tonal is shaped third, and that's,
I just made Antoinette. It's Billy Ma, Johnny V. The horses run very well on the turf, very well on the dirt. I don't know. I think she's equally good on both surfaces. I think the stretch out to 1.125 miles is not going to hurt her. And she ran on the turf last time, so I love the turf to dirt move. Johnny V will put her in a good spot, and I think she's going to run a big race.
Yeah, and you'll get a good price on that because they're going to bet Paris Lights,
right.
Crystal Ball. They're going to bet those other horses.
She's my value pick.
Right, but there's a lot of speed in the race too.
Grade 1 Coaching Club, American Oaks. All right, last but not least, race 12 at Monmouth. Monmouth Haskell Invitational at 1.125 miles for strictly 3-year-olds. Who is it, Lee?
Well, I'm going to try to take, again, I'm always trying to beat the favorite. And I know Baffitt's Baffett and Mike Smith, and when it comes to, big races. And Authentic, is going to be 4 to 5 choice. But I'm going to try to go inside and beat him with Dr. Post. I think Dr. Post is getting better and better and hasn't run his best race yet. And it's a good chance, in the Haskell that he could maybe upset the two.
There's a lot of early speed in the race, and usually at Monmouth Park, speed is dominant.
Yeah, you got to be close usually.
But
right.
Dr. Post draws the inside post. He's got a good tactical speed. And he should be saving ground, and hopefully he could tip out. And again, Joe Bravo inherited the ride.
I know. I was gonna. You know what? I didn't bring that up. I'm glad you brought that up.
Irad is at Saratoga, and the deal is,
right, he's not
if you're
moving.
at Saratoga, we can't leave anywhere to ride anywhere else.
You're staying there.
So he's staying there.
But Jersey Joe over the years have
and Monmouth Park, he owned. I know Jersey Joe's getting old. but he's still got a few in him.
No, I know, but
And-
how
and-
come when we have them,
Right.
something always happens?
I know, we
and I
usually
mean
get
big
beat.
prices.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
I know.
God.
But we got Todd Pletcher on, trains.
Yeah, no,
Post,
Dr. Post will be.
it's
It's going to be tough.
And I think he's going to run a big race. But we know the connections of Authentic, so we're rooting for Authentic as fans because we know the connections that own the horse. But as a handicapper, he'll be second choice. He won't be more than second choice.
I don't know. What about New York Traffic?
No, I think
Saffy
I
Joe
think
was sort
Dr.
of-
Post.
Yeah, it'll be second choice.
Fletcher, Joe Bravo,
Right.
Inside.
But those are the
Post.
three. I looked at
He
the other
ran-
ones. I
Dr.
can't
Post
see anything
ran
else.
second. You're forgetting for a second against the Belmont Stakes winner Tiz the Law.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I mean that's
Yeah, you're Right.
put him in the marquee lights, so to speak. So.
Right.
I think
So that's
he's going to
what
run a
you
big
got to-
race.
All right.
But Authentic is the class. I mean, he got beat last time by Honor AP, but Honor AP isn't in this race. So maybe Authentic's going to rebound and run a big race. But,
Well, he'll be on the lead.
yeah, he'll be
You
on
know
the
what I
lead,
mean, he'll be
yeah.
on the lead, and they're gonna have to,
Mikey Smith aboard.
And
you know.
and I forgot to even bring it up. My racehorse, which
Right.
your daughter-in-law is always
Right,
she's
well,
involved with
that's what
my
I'm saying.
racehorse.
I'm going to be rooting for her.
Yeah, you're gonna.
She
right.
got a piece of the purse. I mean,
Right.
a piece of the horse.
Right,
And
she's in the my
but I'm
racehorse.
just talking about it just as a handicapper. This is what I would have done.
Yeah.
To pick the one on top.
Well, I'll be involved. I'll be betting pick 4s, pick 5s. I'm gonna go there.
Oh, you'll
right?
have
I
a
got
good time. You'll
a
be
lot of
with-
races.
you're with
Forget
the
about
beautiful
it.
ladies.
I got right. Yeah, I
You're
got
with
Pasquale
Pasquale,
to keep me
who's
laughing
one-
because he's
one-
he's so funny.
one of the better
Yeah,
personalities
no, he's
that
great.
I've ever come
He's
across
great.
in my life.
Right, a lot of times we were always holding court.
Right.
I get a chance to sit back and enjoy the
Right.
day and let him do the work.
And you know what? And there's not many people that in
I
our lives.
I don't trust that many people to do that.
Right.
But he's one of them.
And,
that I
and you know
do.
what's amazing? Why I guess we are sick. When we see somebody taking over a story or whatever, or taking over the room, and we see that the guy's holding his own, we'll leave him alone,
right.
and we wish him the best.
Right.
But when we see he's dying, like
Or
a
he's
comedian-
struggling, right.
a
We'll
guy
run
that-
to his aid.
In Hollywood they call it you're dying. Like when you're doing stand up,
Right.
and the audience isn't reacting favorably. We have to step in
Right, we
as
help
good
out.
human beings to help the guy out.
Right,
we just
right,
don't
right,
want him
right,
to
right,
die.
right.
You know what I mean? And that's what we do.
All right.
But
So,
you're gonna have a good day today. What are you wearing today?
Well, you know what? It's very casual. I spoke to your son.
Right.
He said it's very casual. I don't have to go crazy. So I'm going to wear dress shorts, but nice shorts with a button down. I'll wear a fedora.
Right. What about
and I got a
shoes,
matching.
socks?
Oh, I got to forget about shoes and socks. Yeah, well, I'll wear slip-ons like I always do.
Right, with no
slip-ons.
socks?
No socks.
Oh,
no,
you're gonna
I don't
go-
do-
oh,
yeah, no socks. Are you
total
kidding me?
Gugine.
Yeah, total
Oh,
Gugine.
Are you wearing
And-
a pinky ring?
No, I'm not wearing a pinky ring.
right.
I'll have a watch on. But the key is my mask that I'm going to be wearing will
Right.
match my hat,
Oh,
my
really?
fedora. So I'm going to go mask and hat match fedora with the outfit. I'll look good. I'll take some pictures. We'll put it on
Right.
the
Beautiful.
we'll put the pictures on the podcast when I get back. But
All
whatever.
right. Well,
and that's it.
All right, son.
That was,
By the
you know.
way, we will be broadcasting our podcast next week, where I always say is heaven on earth.
Right.
Saratoga.
I can't wait.
So next,
I
we're
can't wait.
leaving Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Thursday morning, we're leaving, and we're going up to the spa. We'll be there, God willing, for a month.
Right, and everybody's listening to the podcast. If you are up in Saratoga for whatever reason, look, come find us. We have that yellow house right next to Ciro's. We'll be in the front yard handicapping, barbecuing. We got the TVs there to watch some races, because we can't go into the track. But you're more than welcome.
come over, say hello.
Say hello, yeah, without a doubt, say hello. All right. So we always say, get hot, stay hot.
See you next week.